In this episode, we're taking you on an island tour by way of dinghy as we continue our quest to find the prettiest water in the Bahamas. But don't let these blue skies fool you. Our nights will be restless.
I'm caught in this moment. Hold on, don't let it slip away. Windows wide open. Clear skies, no chance of rain. And I can't imagine wanting more. It's something that I can't ignore. It's everything I'm looking for right now. I feel so alive.
Welcome to Shark Creek. We are taking Shark Creek from one side of the island to the other. This creek connects the East Bay to the West Bay here at Great Harbor. And this is the mangrove tunnel that encompasses Shark Creek. Now we've seen some really cool sea turtles already, some little baby sea turtles. What's unique about this creek is that you can only come through it during high tide, which we're probably 15 minutes away or 30 minutes away from high tide. So we're gonna go through it. It should open up to a really nice area, and actually it'll open up to what you've seen before as Shelling Beach. So we're gonna go back to Shelling Beach this way, and then we'll turn around and come back and just see all the sea life we can find.
Never felt so right. Feel so alive. I feel so alive.
This here is Shark Creek Beach, or as the locals like to call it, Shelling Beach. And we learned that in our last video, if you watched that. If you haven't, be sure to check it out. We came here by UTV when it was low tide, and all of this here was a sandbar. So we have to be really careful today to enjoy this in all its beauty, but we can't stay too long because we'll get stuck. Our dinghy will be stuck here. We won't get to go back through the mangroves and get back to our boat. But this is just so beautiful. By far the clearest, cleanest blue water we've seen thus far. And like I said, the locals call it Shelling Beach because when the tide goes out, there's lots of starfish and sand dollars all among the sand here. It's truly incredible.
Everything is beautiful. And I feel inside, I feel so right. Everything is beautiful. Can you feel it inside? I feel so right. Everything is beautiful. I'm still dreaming about that place where all our troubles can be erased, and the hurts from the past can wash away all the.
So I'm pulling the dinghy through the mangroves here, not because we have to. We could totally motor through this, but because we have the time. The tide's just now starting to go out, and by going through here nice and quiet, other than Dixie's breath right now, we've been able to see so many more fish that are hiding up underneath these mangroves, and it's really, really cool. It's nice sand bottom, so it's easy to walk, and it's our first time really slowing down.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
My husband always likes to go 100 miles an hour. So the simple fact that we have a sailboat is actually kind of hilarious because he's always been a power boater and go fast. He wants to get to every adventure as fast as possible. And I'm a lot slower than he is. I like to move a lot slower. So this is really nice.
Especially in the mornings.
Especially in the morning. Yeah, it's so nice and peaceful just to take in all the sounds and just the serenity and peacefulness of it all.
It has quickly turned from sand bottom to mud, so I am going to get back into the boat as quickly as possible because this is not.
Does it not feel good between your toes?
No, it doesn't. It's just pretty bad.
We slept so hard last night. Like the boat literally did not move at all. Like there were a couple times I told Cole, I'm like, it feels like we're tied up to a dock. So it's so quiet and peaceful this morning. So we're going to move locations. We're about to pull anchor and get ready to leave here. We're gonna move south to Hoffman's Cay. It'll be about a 3.5 hour trip. Because it is so calm, there's a good chance we're gonna have to motor the whole way because there is hardly a breath of air out, but it is just such a good, gorgeous morning.
Getting ready to leave this morning, so we are checking all of our engine fluids. Means we're checking the sail drive oil, the engine oil, and the engine coolant. So we try and make a practice of running all of our fuel through a preliminary filter as we're putting it into the tank here at all the islands, and that's because these islands are always known to have algae and water and just kind of dirty fuel, not simply because they want to by any means, but because they're transporting this fuel such a long distance and transferring it from tank to tank, so many different tanks just to get it here. So we use this additional filter to try and help catch any sediment and water at the top before it ever even goes into the tank.
The waters of the Bahamas being magical, this right here is what I'm talking about. Now, if you watch any of our Dry Tortuga series, we told you, we've seen the clearest water that we've ever seen before. But that's nothing compared to what is here in the Bahamas. And it is hard to truly capture how beautiful it is. And I was really wondering, like, why is it so beautiful? And that's because the water here is just so clean. There's an absence of a lot of the algae that you see in other waters, like phytoplankton and different types of algae that really muddy up the water. And so when the sun hits it, it just reflects so nice and beautifully. And we've even read that astronauts can locate the Bahamas in the Caribbean from the International Space Station by just how clear and gorgeous it is.
So what we've done is we actually came around the island, or around the Berries. So the Berries is a chain of islands, and we were anchored over in the protected area of Great Harbor Cay, which is on the west side of the Berries. And now we are coming around into Hoffman Cay, and we're gonna stay here for a couple days and explore, do a lot of spearfishing. I'm told that there are some very big lobsters here, so I am really stoked to try and find some lobsters and maybe show you guys how we cook lobster mac and cheese.
We are going to Hoffman's Cay Blue Hole, and this is one of the most visited blue holes in this area, in these islands, so we're eager to check it out. I'm personally really excited to go today because I'm gonna work on my free diving. We still have Laurent with us on board, so we're gonna do some free diving together. He is a master free dive instructor, so it's gonna be a good time.
Biggest blue hole we've ever been to so far. You know, the blue holes are littered all throughout the Bahama Islands.
So many.
And I plan on going to as many as possible. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but one of the things is I'm getting Emily to jump with me this time. She didn't jump in the last one.
Because there was a perfectly good ladder.
But we're jumping together on this one.
There's no ladder here, so I have to jump or walk down.
You can walk down. But we're gonna be an adventurous. So take that weight belt off.
Yeah, I
leave
don't
it
wanna die
here.
with my
We're gonna
weight
come
belt.
back and get our stuff. But let's do this.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Our dive was a quick one because it is getting dark.
We're losing light fast.
Yeah, we are. So we're getting out of here.
Came a little bit earlier when the sun was up, so we could see a little bit better in the blue hole. But nevertheless, at 35 feet, there was like this thermocline, and you just could not see anything below that, and it was really creepy.
Yeah, it was. So we didn't do as much diving as we would have hoped, just for the simple fact of we were really creeped out. But I jumped off the ledge, so that's a win for today. It wasn't so scary, but I don't know if I'd do it again. Once is good enough for me.
Can you believe that's our view? This is our life. It's so, I just can't even put it into words. Like, it's so incredible. So I'm gonna turn the camera around for a few minutes here and just share this sunset. What a night that was. I slept with one eye open the whole time, I think.
We have plans to move if the vehicle understands.
Okay, all right, sounds good. All right, what are you thinking with your anchor? Are you thinking that I'm over top of it right now?
Maybe we will look, we start pulling up the anchor, we can see when the dust boat has moved.
Okay, well, we'll keep an eye open and see if we can help in any way.
Great, thank you very much, thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
What a night.
Oh, I just want to go back to sleep.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. But we were awake all night long. I literally felt like I was in the bed like this all night. One eye open,
Like what?
like that.
Oh.
One eye open.
So I was really worried about the boat that came up behind us yesterday afternoon, and come to find out they weren't even the one I needed to be worried about.
Yeah, it
The
was
boat
a totally
in front of
different
us.
one. They started on our port side yesterday, and this morning they left from our starboard side because we moved and swung so much last night.
Yeah. So last night was by far the roughest night on anchor we've had.
Ever, yeah. The last 2 nights haven't been great. We haven't slept great since we've been in the Barry, since we've been in Hoffman Cay. But last night was like no comparison. Enough to where I was like, we need to film this to show the raw and not sexy parts of boat life.
Yeah. So if you think about it, like our entire home, all of our belongings, everything we own to date is being held by a 65-pound mantis anchor, and here at this location about 60 feet, maybe 65 feet of 5/8 chain. And if that came loose,
We'd either hit another boat or crash into the rocks.
or The
Float
best
away.
case scenario is we'd float right up there on top of that sandbar behind us. But yes, there's so many other boats around here. I don't think we'd ever get there without hitting another boat and or hitting the big island of rocks right next to us, which we'll have to show you guys when we get out of bed.
We get out of bed today.
Not only am I worried about our anchor, but you have to worry about all the other anchors around us, in the sense that if any of the boats drag anchor or the anchor comes loose, then it's like dominoes. They literally just come crashing into you, right? And can cause some major damage. So we are figuring out how to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was very uncomfortable last night.
So it's going to be a slow day for us.
It's time for some coffee. I know y'all are seeing this and thinking, wow, she's using instant coffee. Does anyone use instant coffee these days? Well, I got it right before the trip because I saw it and I thought, well, this would be easy to make on days we don't want to use our French press, because literally you just pour coffee in hot water. And it reminded me of a kid growing up. My late grandmother used to make instant coffee for me when I would go to her house, and it was the Folgers kind, but it was in a blue container. Or maybe that was the wrong brand. It was the kind with the blue container. Maxwell House, yes, that's right. Maxwell House, not Folgers. And we actually broke our French press just the other day, so we're pretty thankful we have the instant coffee now. I made a little mess as I was spooning out the instant coffee because the door behind Cole is open and it blew everywhere.
So this is actually a lesson learned by Leopard themselves, because on this model and all of the models, I think up to 2020, I could be wrong on that, but I believe it's 2020, the forward-facing door is right here directly into the galley. Well, that actually is a problem for us when we're cooking, because the wind coming through here, which is amazing, puts the stove out. Also, if you are, I've made the mistake of trying to put seasonings on whatever I'm cooking, and the seasoning just goes not on the food, but all over the kitchen. Especially like the parsleys or the Italian blends that are very light. And then, yeah, the Adventure Cruise spices coming soon. But also, Emily just did the exact same thing with this instant coffee, so it's kind of funny. Now Leopard has actually moved the door to the other side of the salon so that that doesn't happen.
Start the day with some apnea training.
That's right, we're gonna be on the beach doing our static breath holds here in some calm weather, but then we're gonna go out and do some spearfishing afterwards and put what we learn here to the test.
Yes, so they've already started without us. One of the ways to really trigger that mammalian dive reflex is by running. Buildup of carbon dioxide, so let's go. Running in a wetsuit gets warm real quick.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, come on.
what LeBron is talking about right now is the breathe up that you do before you do a dive or an apnea breath hold. And Cole and I actually got did our free diving certification back 2 years ago when we first started with our friend freediver Steph. Much like this on a beach where we went and put our face in the water and held our breath. And I remember the first time I literally held my breath for like 10 seconds before I completely freaked out. I have this weird, crazy fear of drowning, even though I know I'm okay and I know I'll be okay, but I held my breath for 10 seconds, freaked out, and then did it again and ended up holding my breath for like a minute and a half. So it's so truly interesting how this dive reflex works in humans and all mammals, and really just all about calming your mind. So we're eager to calm our mind today and see how long we can hold our breath for. It'll be fun too to watch our friend Ken experience this too as he's listening to Laurent's training.
All right, Ken, so my goal for myself, I've done 2 minutes and 2 seconds before. Today, I want to do 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
It's a big improvement.
It is a big improvement. That's a lot, but I think I can do it. What about yourself? You've never done this before.
I'm going for level 1, 90 seconds.
90 seconds, all right. I like it.
All right, Rod, what are you going for?
All right. I'm gonna, let's see, do hopefully 2.5 minutes.
2.5.
It's been a while. So.
All right, I'm going for 2 minutes today.
All right, we've all set our goals.
Let's see, what are you going for?
All my friends pulled up for good vibes. We know that the good vibes could mean go to some. We ain't tryna live forever. Just live it up. Baby, I know that's better. When I'm with you, we ain't tryna live forever.
You got this. You got this. 135. Good job. Hey, give me 5 there.
That's what they say. Spend my time on you and I was happy to pay. All my heart, every single day. No one really knows when it's all said and done. So when our time winds up, let's bet it all on us.
Living on the water means living an ocean-to-table lifestyle. We have to go out and hunt our food, so we're going on a spearing mission.
I'm daydreaming of a day. I'm not wasting my time. Don't wait till I come alive. Sail away. I'ma sail away. Like being in the sunshine, waking me up on the bright side, living for a better day. I'ma sail away. Yeah, I try to live every day to the fullest. There's beauty in everything. I try to notice holograms form from the wind through the trees. There's gotta be more in this world left for me. Sing hallelujah from the basement floor. And I'm still holding out for so much more. Oh, I'm daydreaming of the day. I'm not wasting my time. Don't wait till I come alive. Sail away. I'ma sail away. Like being in the sunshine, waking me up on the bright side, living for a better day. I'ma sail away.
Hey, come with me. We're making lobster mac and cheese tonight. Let me show you how.
I wanna hear just too easy to speak. Reminding myself I'm not in this too deep. Sing hallelujah on the basement floor. Yeah, I'm still holding out for so much more. Yeah, I'm daydreaming of the day. I'm not wasting my time. Don't wait till I come alive. Sail away.
We just got back in from an epic day of spearfishing. We've got hogfish, gray trigger, mutton snapper, conch, stone crab, and 2 massive lobsters. I don't know about you guys, but we're eating good tonight. We're gonna make lobster mac and cheese with these beautiful Bahamas lobsters. This is actually the biggest lobster I've ever speared. And I'm excited to show you guys exactly how we make our fresh lobster mac and cheese tonight. First, we're gonna start with some salt water. Do a half pot here. And about a half pot there. Now we add some fresh water. If that's not a beautiful sight, I don't know what is.